What's up YouTube, my name is Byrdman778 and welcome to another Outriders video. Today, I'm counting down the top 5 best tier 2 mods for Devastator. Whether you're leveling up your ending game, why these mods are exactly the best, and which other honorable mention ones you should be checking out for. But before we get into the video, I'll let you know, you should be subbing over here on YouTube, youtube.com/Byrdman778. We're growing exponentially, so any love you can show the channel is always appreciated. Also, follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Byrdman778. I stream every single day, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come by, see different builds, hear my stupid jokes and theory crafting, please do so. But also make sure you're checking me out on Twitch, twitter.com/Byrdman778 for any updates on the channel, or exactly just some, bad memes and stuff like that. Anyway, let's get right on to the video. So for the number 5 spot on 5 best tier 2 mods for Devastator, we're going to first go with Bloodlust. Killing shots increase your firepower by 17,000, stacks up to 3 times, and deteriorates every 10 seconds. This is actually a super solid mod for someone who's like leveling up, like let's say like a firepower build, or let's say you don't have that killing spree or ultimate damage link. This is a phenomenal one because it's going to make sure your firepower is staying up constantly as you're doing damage as well. At the same time, if you're able to upgrade yourself up to those other mods that I just mentioned, like the killing spree, maybe like a dark sacrifice or ultimate damage link, absolutely do so. But this is a great just like kind of filler place mod while you're trying to get yourself leveled up in that firepower build. For number 4, we're going to go with Emergency Stance. Attain Golem Protective Effect for 4 seconds whenever your health drops below 30%. This is a really good one just because, let's say you're in the middle of a fight, you're not able to get yourself either your own golem activated, you're noticing your health's going up and down. This gives you a chance to kind of get super fortified for a second and make sure that you aren't taking as much damage. Now, it recently went through kind of like this phase of where it was kind of locked in, you were kind of locked in that golem effect constantly, no matter what, if it activated or not. But they recently fixed that. But I still find this to be a very valuable mod. Again, for leveling up, making sure like, oh man, I'm having a hard time inflicting bleed on enemies to get health back. My skill life leech isn't working, this or that. What can I use? Emergency Stance is the one for you to use. On that number 3 spot, we're going to go with Brawl. Boost your melee skill damage by 100%. Now, Brawl is super awesome because Devastator can actually be a really great melee character. You already have a note in your skill tree that gives you double melee damage, but also our melee is already cracked out of our mind especially because that is in the bottom AP tree. Melee goes off of AP power, so having increased power of that on top of double damage, on top of 100% more damage, your melee is going to next to 2-tap enemies on CT15s. And I've been able to do melee builds. If you check them out here on the channel, I do have a death-proof boulder dash melee build that's super effective in CT15, and I use Brawl in it. It is one I would say is kind of a lock if you're looking to do all those melee skills. In that number 2 spot, we're going with Bloody Boost. Boost your damage against enemies afflicted with bleed by 15%. This is essentially kind of that tainted blood light version. You're going to be getting 15% extra boost to bleeding enemies, which is great, especially if you're somebody who's using bleeding on Earthquake, just using that across the battlefield, inflicting all those enemies and making sure you're going to do more damage to them is always advantageous. Now, again, I mentioned this is a great one for leveling up because this is such an easy skill to get, and it's going to make sure that while you're going through the campaign, going through those beast hunts, bounties, you are going to be able to do enough damage to kill those bigger boss enemies before you get that Tainted Blood mod. For that honorable mention spot, I'm going to go with Vampiric Mag. Killing shots at enemies afflicted with bleed flashes 50% of your ammo to the magazine. This is really great if you're doing a top tree firepower build with statue set. You're going to be hopefully using the bleeding impulses, which is going to constantly inflict bleed to your enemies around you. So making sure that all the firepower you're doing to them is just going to return to your magazine is great. Mainly for like a shotgun build, I would say most specifically, just because that's really advantageous for you to use. Thirst for Blood would be another one that'd be really great. It kind of combos off the same exact thought process, using like bleeding impulses or bleeding for a firepower build. Killing enemies with a weapon while they're afflicted with bleed increases your weapon leech by 40%. This is essentially just going to make sure you're keeping your health up as long as you're shooting bullets. It's just a nice skill all around to have. And finally, for that number 1 spot, we're going with Untamed Power. Using skill deals 49,000 damage to enemies with a 5-meter radius around you, and damage equal to 30% of your anomaly power. This is absolutely insane for those anomaly builds, because you're going to constantly be wanting to activate your skills like Earthquake, Impale, Gravity Leap, and that's going to essentially automatically activate this impulse that's going to do a shit ton of damage to enemies around you. It mentions skills, so that includes even your melee as well. This can be great for melee builds, so that is you're staying in the thick of it, punching enemies, and you're going to be constantly doing those impulses as well, doing damage to enemies around you. This is an absolute lock on a lot of my builds as well, just because making sure that I have that extra damage on top of my AP is always advantageous. Thank you so much for stopping by this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Again, I like to make these because, one, they're my own opinion, and I kind of want to just like show off what I think is like the best, but also because people come to my stream asking questions. What should I use here? I don't have these tier 3 mods yet. What's something else I could use? And this is a really good one. I think you could probably go through a lot of these and kind of find a different reason to use it on a different build, but at least those are the most consistent across firepower and AP builds for Devastator to use. But again, make sure you're following me over here on YouTube, youtube.com/Byrdman778. Check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/Byrdman778. Again, streaming every day starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Twitter for all my bad memes and just updates on the channel. Thank you everybody for watching this video. Make sure to leave it a thumbs up. I'll check you later. Have a great night, day, or whatever it may be.